I will be frank with you guys, my room looks like shit. Not horribly untasteful, not overly messy, just plain and utterly boring. It's time for a change. If you've been following my channel since 2025, there is a big chance you still remember and know this room. However, in my latest videos it has looked quite different. This is because I've decided to make this makeover slow and intentional instead of fast and impulsive. The reason for that is that I'm not rich and can't afford a makeover like that all at once. If you watch back my videos from January at this point on, you can also see the transformation of my room, but I made this video to spare you that work. I hope you enjoy, as it has been months in the making. A little room tour. Here is my door. This is a very boring collage. Here I have a bunch of pictures, and then here I have my white storage. I have drawn this a long time ago. I don't want it here anymore. So then I have this one. This I want to put up against the opposite wall. This will definitely come off because I don't support anything of that kind anymore. This, I don't know, maybe I will put it on my wall. Yes, scooched over. And take that down. I also want to take this down, but I like this little guy. Maybe I will like upgrade him or something. Then I also want to change out this collage. And the other bed will stay as it is because it's just easier. And my room is too small for it to go like this. And yeah, that was the before tour. I mean, you pretty much like already know what my room looks like. The very first thing I thought a lot about was the new layout for my room. The form and door placement of it is actually very unpractical, and it ended up being quite difficult to avoid this kind of pathway situation that I had going on previously. I wanted my room to have designated areas, you know, one for work, for relaxation, and more floor space for working out and stretching, which I do quite often in my room. After discussing various layouts with my girlfriend and feng shui with my mom, I decided on this layout. I started moving the desk slightly to the side, for which I needed to get rid of this mini fridge that my family put in my room when we moved in. I am honestly glad I got rid of it because I didn't use it at all. I also brought over the side table to the other side of the desk, but it ended up being so unpractical that I later switched back to how it was before. Maybe someday I will find another smaller table for the other side, maybe in part 2. After that came the hard part, moving all the actual furniture. I emptied out all of my dressers and cabinets, which was a lot of work. I also brought free homey labor in form of my girlfriend. She helped me in putting everything back in its place and acted as a living shield so my dad would not yell at me for wanting him to move all my furniture. It worked great. It was also exhausting. I had a nice clean room. The next step was posters. I had 2 giant ones that I got, the rest were pictures from Pinterest that I printed out in the local shop. And then I disappeared in my room for 3 hours and put everything on the walls. Yes, most of my posters ended up being slightly not straight, but neither am I, so what's the harm? My next project after that was to crochet some decorations for my door, which I did. I did procrastinate these so much, but I ended up putting them in the doorway and they look great. The last step I did in this makeover was putting up dried leaves and making one of my dresses look like it is a tree. I want to live inside a Minecraft lush cave. And now it is time for the reveal and the before after. I hope you enjoyed this makeover because I enjoy my space much more now. I have to note that I have more plans. For example, you see how bad the ceiling and the rest of the walls are. I also wanted to buy new bedding since this one is pretty benched up. It is like 10 years old at this point. I am in the dire need of a trip to IKEA, to be honest. I also wanted to change the displays of the pencils and art supplies on my desk, but for that I need another side table to put them in. Yes, the construct they are in was DIY'd by me back in 2020. It's entirely made out of cardboard. Those times. Anyway, that's all the plans I will spoil you from part 2, coming around autumn in like half a year or so. I don't want to rush it, you know. If you like this video, please subscribe and like. Also comment down below what you thought and if you ever tried those extreme room makeovers yourself before. I'd like to hear your thoughts. See you guys next week. Until then, keep shining. It was Alora speaking. Bye!